I'm greatly oversimplifying a very complicated theme, which I've gone into in my book, Chronicle of the Living Christ. And this was a 10-year research project. And in that book, I found then through the visions of the mystic Catholic nun and Catherine Emmerich, I found a key that enabled me to date the events in the life of Christ with absolute certainty. This may sound like an extraordinary statement, but as
we're all about extraordinary statements.
I regard the visions of Anne Catherine Emmerich as extraordinary and as by and large true. At that time, it spread like wildfire in Europe that there was this woman who'd received the stigmata, the wounds of Christ. And so Clemens Brentano realized this is so extraordinary that she's living in constant visions of the life of Christ. So he decided to stay and to record the visions. And thank goodness he did that. And then when I was reading the visions, she describes everything with such precision, and she would say things like it was the start of the Sabbath, so one would know it's Friday evening, start of the Sabbath, and it was the 15th day of the month of Tishri. And because of my background,
mathematics again comes back.
Yeah, I was able to identify them perfectly when this must have been historically. So that's why I'm able to say with absolute certainty the dates in the life of Christ. And that was very important for me because I was interested in the Star of the Magi and other events, whether there's some cosmic correspondence, and found then, yes, there are very definite cosmic correspondences in the life of Christ with events in the heavens. So this was something actually pointed out also by Rudolf Steiner, that he said that, and this was of course the point of departure for me, he said that the miracles in the life of Christ were undertaken at special cosmic moments in time. And so, for example, when we take the greatest miracle, the raising of Lazarus, and this, I was able to identify then the date of that event. It was early on the morning of Saturday, the 26th of July in the year 32 AD, and that was the day of the new moon in Leo. So the sun and the moon were very close together in conjunction, together with the star Regulus in Leo.
And Regulus is the heart of the lion, correct?
Right, Regulus is the heart of the lion.
Right.
And so then it's only with this background one can understand then why did Jesus wait so many days? He was on the other side, he was teaching in the vicinity of Samaria, and Lazarus was living at his castle in Bethany near Jerusalem. And the messengers came to him, were sent by Lazarus' sisters, Martha and Mary Magdalene, that their brother was dying. Could he come? And he said yes, he would come. And then he continued teaching. And so it was only several days later that he arrived, by which time Lazarus had already died.
Do you think, Robert, this gets to, definitely not to bring it back to Tomberg, but Tomberg does write profoundly in Meditations in the Tarot on how kind of miracles work, right? And in the raising of Lazarus. Give our listeners kind of a visceral sense of what might have transpired. Is Jesus using the force of what was going on? What's the language you use if you were talking to somebody at a bar to say like how the zodiac helped, just worked with? I'd be interested in what you have to say about that.
Yeah, well, it's not easy because within the Christian tradition, there's not, apart from the Star of the Magi, which was my starting point, there's not really much openness for astrology, for anything of an astrological nature.